Hi everyone. How are you doing today? We all know that for solo players, some matches are just a chaotic, to say the least. There's just so much we can do inside every game. So why not take a moment to look at some behaviors that may be affecting your results and maybe even costing you the whole match. Here we have 5 behaviors that may be lowering your win rate. One of them probably happened in your last match and you may not have even noticed, so if you know which one I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. First, let's start with one that you probably already know. Stealing or fighting over the central area. I know you can't control when someone is going to steal your stuff away, but you can at least be aware of the spawn timers of every wild Pokemon. After you farm that area, every Pokemon will respawn after exactly 1 minute. If you're already back at the central area at that time, this will reduce the chance of your jungle getting stolen. Also, don't steal the jungle yourself, especially before the first Dreadnought. And if someone is going with you to the central area at the start of the match, my advice will be, let them have the central area. Your match will be way harder if you two have to fight for that farm. I know. It's really frustrating, even more if you picked your lane before. But if you lose the match, you will just waste 10 minutes. So it's better to not fight over it, in my opinion. And if you're wondering why is this even a bad thing to do, be aware that if there's 2 players in the central area, one lane will be weaker. And you too, or more, who knows, will be sharing experience, so you lose the advantage of having that uncontested farm to provide you with a level advantage over other players. In this case, I was stubborn and lost the match as a result. For our second mistake we have not rotating to Dreadnought. The first Dreadnought is one of the most important moments in the match. It provides EXP for your whole team and then use this level advantage to keep you ahead in the game. You will see that the team that gets the first Dreadnought will usually wins the next fight as well, since most of them will already have their Unite moves. So I cannot stress enough how important showing up to fight for Dreadnought is. The first one will spawn when the timer reaches 7 minutes. If there's a Hoopa on the enemy team, things will be way worse, since they can switch lanes whenever they want. You can see that they took the Dread and immediately defended their top lane as well. In this match the same happened, but with our jungler, who stayed at the top lane to fight that Cinderace. That play left us way behind. If you're the jungler, you are, or should be, the strongest member of your team at that moment. So you can decide that first fight by yourself, especially if already have your Unite move. The better option in that case was to help us in the bottom lane, making it a 4v5. Yes, maybe that Cinderace could have the Rotom, but our level advantage would surely made those extra points irrelevant. And we also lost Rotom as well and weren't able to defend it, since our enemies were many levels ahead. The third one is messing up your Zapdos fight. This can happen by either choosing to leave your team to score while they are fighting for Zapdos or hiding in the bush to try a sneaky steal. By doing this, you will make sure that your team will have to win at least a 4v5, which won't end well most of the time. And if you're trying your luck by hiding and stealing the Zapdos, remember that if they check the bushes, you're in trouble. If you mistime you move, you're in trouble, which, let's be real, happens very often. But if you were helping your team, you may have one Zapdos anyway. The fourth one is not using your Unite move properly. As you may know, your Unite move is a really strong tool that can decide fights or even the match if used correctly. Some Unites have longer cooldowns than others and your job is to be able to get the most value out of it. And in order to do that, you most of the time will be using your Unite move to KO someone and get comeback experience if you're behind, to push towards the enemy's goal zone if you're ahead, or to fight for the objectives. But always keep track of the timer. Most Unite moves can be recharged within 90 seconds, so try not to use it after the time reaches 3:30. So you can use your Unite to fight for Zapdos. Also, you can see which teammates still have their Unite available looking at the top of the screen. If they have a yellow ball, that means they have their Unite move ready. You can see that I didn't use my Hoopa's Unite move at the last Dreadnought fight. I chose to wait to use it after Zapdos has spawned. And the last one is one that you may not even notice, but it's definitely making you have a tough time in ranked. breaking goal zones early or breaking them with the exact amount left. As you know, the goal zones have their own healths, and will break once it reaches 0. But you can and should go beyond that number. The first goal zone is the easier to reach, so you want to make sure to score the most amount of points before breaking, making your team stay ahead on points, even if you have less goal zones. But if you need to score to win, why scoring so fast that you break the first goal zones in a couple minutes a bad thing? That's because of Pokemon Unite's comeback mechanics. If your goal zone was broken, the game treats you as if you're behind. And this makes so wild Pokemons between the goals stop appearing. But the losing side will get Adinos behind their next goal zone. Adinos can provide a ton of EXP by themselves. But the bees will also start spawning closer to the losing side, making them easier to get as well. So if you're losing the game and break a goal zone early, you will lose even harder. Also, if you're at the start of the game, everyone's level would probably be close, and since it's easier to level up at those earlier stages, even if you're ahead, you're giving your opponents the opportunity to fight back and even losing your lead. So if you're considering breaking a goal zone, you need to think what you're getting out of it. If you score alone and leave that area, you'll be in a bad spot. But if you are already winning and have your team with you, there's an opportunity to break that goal zone and push to the next one immediately, scoring a huge amount of points and stealing their Adinos, while taking every enemy down in the process. But if you're not sure what to do, the general rule is to not break the goal zones early. So there it is. 5 of their most common mistakes to be avoided in Pokemon Unite. If you have any idea of any mistake I might have missed, please comment below. And if you would like to see more Pokemon Unite content, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. And until next time.